Are you looking to start a reselling side hustle but you have zero idea of how to actually price your items? In today's video, I'm going to break down 2 different ways of how you can determine the value of any single item. One is going to be a little bit more beginner friendly and the other one is going to be a little bit more advanced. So let's hop into the computer and see what our items are worth. For today's video, we're going to be using this Polaroid camera as an example because this is something you will find at the thrift stores. So this is a Polaroid 1-Step 2. So we're going to type this in. Before we go any further, yes, we're doing this on the computer, but you can do all of this on your phone. The eBay app is awesome for doing the same exact thing. So once we type in what we're actually looking for, we're gonna see there's 131 results for this camera. This is great, but it doesn't really actually help us. It doesn't determine the value of anything because what people are actually asking for doesn't mean anything because it doesn't mean they're gonna get it. They can ask $1 million for this Polaroid camera, but no one's gonna buy it for $1 million. So what we need to do is actually narrow this down a little bit more. If you scroll down on eBay, here on the left-hand side, you're gonna see all these other little toggles you could do. What you wanna do is toggle on sold listings. And then from here, it's actually gonna pull up only the items that have sold within 90 days. Okay, now we're gonna see there's 144 results for this camera. We're gonna scroll through here just to kind of get a general look at all of this stuff. Immediately what I'm noticing is a big problem. If you look at these cameras that are actually pulling up, like this is our actual camera, right? But these aren't our camera, this isn't our camera. This is our camera, but a different color. Even though we typed in this Polaroid model name exactly, we're still getting different results that aren't really helpful. There's one more thing on this camera, you probably can't see it, but it says I type. So we're gonna type that in and we're gonna see if that actually narrows things down a little bit more. So now we have this result. It has 88 results. First thing we're gonna see is film for this camera. There's that old camera we saw again, this actual camera. So now we're actually at a place to where we're seeing this actual camera, but we still have a problem. We're seeing different colors, we're seeing different conditions, and that makes things a little bit more difficult. Let's narrow this down just a little bit more. What we're gonna do is go up here, we're gonna click on condition, and all we wanna do is see used because this is a used camera. All right, so we have 17 results now. So we're gonna start here, we're gonna just scroll a little bit and see what we actually find. Now, we're seeing these cameras are going for between like $40 and $80 for whatever reason. So we see our camera right here, $60 or best offer. The Stranger Things model with one bid for $50, and yeah. You can see there's different versions of this camera, which matters a lot. Now, maybe for this example, it doesn't matter that much, but for things like nice clothing, nice shoes, a certain color could be worth so much more money than other colors. This is especially true when it comes to sneakers. You can have a basic Nike Air Force One and it's worth $40, or you can have one that's worth $15,000. So you need to pay attention to these things and understand what you're actually searching for. Now, in this case, something I'm seeing is not a lot of this color is sold for whatever reason. A lot of the colors that are being sold are the white ones. Now, that may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing. It can either be a good thing because maybe our color is a little bit more rare, which I don't think it is, but it could also be a bad thing, which our colorway may not be that desirable. Maybe people want the fun colors of this camera, and that's gonna dictate on how you price things. Now, a lot of these listings are saying it's mint, it comes with the accessories, the box, things like that. Now, we obviously don't have the box here. That will affect the value for some buyers, but overall, it's not that big of a deal when it comes to something like this. Now, I wanna show you one critical thing that most resellers are gonna miss when they're starting out, and this will make a big difference in how you price things. We can see this camera here, it's sold for $79 or best offer. This is a huge problem because this does not mean that this camera sold for $79.79. This camera could have sold for 79 cents and we just would never know because eBay, for some reason, does not wanna tell you what the item actually sold for if the seller accepted a best offer. If I'm at the thrift store and I'm scrolling through sold listings and all I see is like items that were sold with best offer, that starts to slightly concern me, and any price I see here, I will immediately like knock down 20% in my head and assume that's what it actually sold for. But that's what I would base my pricing off of. I would not base it off the $79. It's not what that item actually sold for. So be really, really careful. So what am I gonna sell this for? For me, I'm probably gonna list this for like $54.99. Maybe a few bucks more, maybe I'll push it to like $58.99 because it is in fantastic condition, it looks brand new. I will take a best offer for around 45 to 50 bucks and I'll be happy with that because I only paid, I think, $6 for this camera. So it's a nice flip, but what if you want something a little bit more advanced? What if you have a wholesale supplier of this camera and you can buy 300 of them right now for a really good deal? How do you determine the value of that? How do you determine if it's actually worth your time? So let's look into one advanced feature to determine if this would actually be worth buying in bulk. This is only gonna work if you have a store subscription or if you pay for Terapeak separately, but what you're gonna wanna do is go into My eBay, go into research, and then we're gonna click on Terapeak product research. If you don't know, Terapeak is like the really advanced search tool on eBay. Not a lot of people talk about this. Not a lot of people really use this, and honestly, you don't really need to use this except for scenarios like we're talking about, to where you're gonna get things in bulk. Maybe you're gonna start like a private label company and you need to see your competition, what they're selling for. It's not intended as like a daily search tool for us resellers. What we're gonna do is go in here and type in the same thing as last time. 1 step 2, I type. Okay, so now we have our results, but something that's not helping me is that it's only the past 30 days. The benefit of this tool is you can look up way longer than you could with the sold listings. So let's do last 365 days and see what this actually sells for. Okay, so now we have results for the 365 days, but again, there's a little bit more work that we need to do because this is a used camera. We're gonna pretend that we're buying a pallet of used Polaroids. So we're gonna go up here, condition filter, we're gonna click on used, and we're gonna apply. And then one of the last filters I wanna actually do is narrow it down by the category. So I don't necessarily wanna see accessories or film or any of that. I just wanna see these cameras. So I'm gonna click on instant cameras. All right, so now we have our results. What we see here is that there's been 101 of these sold in the past year. That's a very important number because what if you got a pallet of 10,000 of these, right? They were a really good deal, but you got 10,000 of them and you can only sell a few a year. Does it really make it worth it? No, it doesn't. So that's a big problem right off the bat. You can see the average sold price has been $57. Now, obviously that's an average running range. We saw earlier that these are selling for between $40 and $80. Some of these are on the higher end for whatever reason, but yeah, you see that that's the average price sold. You see the average shipping is $12.50. Free shipping from sellers is 33%. So 33% of your competition will be offering free shipping. Now in some categories, this is way higher. Like take for example, clothing, maybe media, you will see numbers way higher than 33%. So that is something to factor in if you want to be competitive with a bulk purchase product. And we can scroll through here and just see what actually sold in a really quicker way, right? You could see what the seller charged for shipping. You could see how it sold. So like this was an auction for $24 plus $11 shipping. This one sold for $200 for whatever reason. Again, like it sold for $200. We don't know exactly why. We're not going to research that right now, but that is something that would stick out to me if I was looking into this. Pay attention to those little details. I want to show you guys one little filtering trick that if you like numbers, you may really like this feature. So if you go here and you go back from 365 to 30 days and you scroll down, now you can see the sell-through rate. It's a 34% sell-through rate, which means that 34% of the items listed have sold. Now, depending on the category you're selling in, this could be really bad, this could be really good. For this camera, since it is a niche product, I don't think it's that bad, but it's also not the best number in the world. So if I was buying 10,000 of these to resell, I would be concerned about that number. I would do some more investigating and really calculate to see if it's worth my time to buy that item in bulk. Now there's one last little tip I want to show you guys, and it has to do with sales trends. So once you go through here and you go back to 365 days, you can see the average sold price here, right, for the past year. Now for this example, it may not be that great because this kind of has like a set market value, but think about like a funny t-shirt, right? Something maybe happened in the world and you printed a bunch of t-shirts of this and you tried to sell them. Well, that's gonna show a spike of, a lot of sales in 1 month, and then it's gonna die off because it's a trend. So look for that kind of information. See if there's only one major spike and then it's just completely flat after that. That's a good inkling to maybe stay away from that item, because we're not looking to buy trending items that are gonna only spike once and then we're gonna sit on dead inventory because that trend has passed. Now that you know how to look up the value of items, how about you learn how to thrift shop a little bit better? In this video, I break down my best thrifting tips to help you guys save time but make more money, so make sure to watch that next. And if this video is helpful, smash that like button for me. It really helps a small channel like ours grow. And until next time, cheers.